Well, this one should be pretty interesting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you to The Zone. And we are going to discover, ladies and gentlemen, 6 people with autism versus 1 fake. So there is no other way of putting this, ladies and gentlemen. At least 6 of these people, well, at least 6, yeah. Fuck me, I can't count for shit. But at least one of these people doesn't. So let's do this in a purely scientifical, not at all incredibly disparaging way, and let's just guess completely on face value. That one. That's the fake right there. So, how do I know this? Well, interestingly enough, with autism, there's a lot actually you can observe just from, using, body language and stuff like that. So, going from right to left, hand signals are actually, it's not exactly uncommon for people with autism to, do things that are a bit sporadic. Sometimes when they're in the heat of the moment, they actually don't really know what exactly to say. And I don't know, it's even his posture as well. So yes, this guy definitely does. This guy definitely does because he wears long sleeve denim everywhere. And he looks like orange peel from the young ones. So this one definitely has autism. She, again, it's the hands, it's the thing with the hands as well, and maybe the way she looks. She sort of looks at this guy going. So yes, definitely autism. She, again, hand signals, yes. Zach from the Power Rangers, yes as well, hand signals. Her, hand signals. I don't get it with the girl on the left. So my money is the girl on the left, is the one who doesn't. So let's see how badly I am proved wrong. Because remember, we haven't even started the video yet. So let's get going.
I can't choose any of you guys to
Okay,
do them
yeah,
all.
this one definitely does. In fact, actually, I take back my earlier statement. He not only does he have autism, but yes, definitely.
This is gonna be the hardest
even me
thing.
myself, it's like I think I'm the mole, honestly.
I love the fact that they even had to go to the extent they had to highlight in red here, as though this isn't like one of those charity ads where saying Ishmael has to walk 7 miles to go and pick up piss water, when he literally could have walked 1 mile in the other direction when he found this natural spring. Ishmael's stupid. Let's help out stupid people. But yeah, this I'm not donating to fight malaria, guys. Come on now.
I think we just talk about our disabilities.
I prefer disorder.
Yeah,
Disorder.
okay. If you call autism a disability, you definitely have it. Yes, yeah, I fit in that camp absolutely. I think we've established this before I even said anything.
Yeah. I was diagnosed in middle school, and then I transitioned to a school for people on the spectrum. Once I graduated middle school and went to that school, I kind of really enjoyed where I was at and everything. This is really.
God almighty, what were their parents thinking? But actually now, to be honest, even now I'm starting to doubt myself, because actually people who have autism are actually very, very good actors because of how convincing they are, and they can get so immersed into their role, or rather what people expect them to do and say. It actually I like to imagine that maybe Kaz, maybe he seems a little bit too natural at this, so I don't know. But I'm still going with the girl on the far left.
Really hard because there's so many eyes on me already. It's just taken a while to accept that I have a disorder. There's people who I've met myself who say you have
out of context, person with autism ? I can almost see this as one of those mockumentaries where they'll literally sit a person down, ask him what on earth was he thinking, and then they just decide to do something really, really insulting by saying, "But does he have autism? Maybe." I don't know. It's a very unintentional thing, but oh god, it almost looks like the sort of thing that I would probably joke about. Oh dear.
Autism, and my family would be like, "Did you tell him you have did you tell him you have a disability?" No, I don't think I need to. But reality, it really does.
Okay.
help.
First of all, disability and neurological conditioning they are poles apart, unfortunately, and I appreciate, again, maybe Kaz really does have autism, but I just want to, again, make this a point of fact right now, is that I think it's really something that we should actually, maybe I'm getting too much hype into this, but I at no point during my entire education at primary school, in high school, at university, was I actually taught anything about my Asperger's or anything like that. It was down to be honest, really, the only reason I only really found out through what I found out. I was the one who had to go and find out about it. I mean, yeah, I am, and again, this is only because I've been led to told that the entire education system so completely failed me. But then again, 13 years under a Tory regime, most of it under Michael Gove as education secretary. It's no wonder. It's probably thousands of people just like me that the system was failed by. I'm sorry. Because you're never going to get Michael Gove, the levelling up secretary, is to apologise.
Help to know that I do have autism.
They first suspected me of being autistic when I was 5, but they hesitated to diagnose me.
Okay, maybe it's not autism, but I don't know. Maybe Amanda, maybe she has some sort of maybe hearing difficulty, because I know actually I used to have a driving instructor who talked a little bit like Amanda, and he said that he was deaf from birth. But, as far as driving instructors go, he was very professional and all that. So, maybe, I don't know, maybe, but I'm kind of almost on the ground now whether or not Jubilee are, into that dangerous field of trying to, say autism is a disability, or if it isn't, then this definitely is a disability. So, this is something that Jubilee talks dog shit a lot, and really, when it comes to things like autism, you've got to know what the hell you're talking about. And again, maybe it's because it doesn't make the people outside and on the inside look bad. It makes them look like they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I was too intelligent.
I mean, that's a compliment right there, being too intelligent.
I feel like in some ways it's a little bit of an insult.
I was diagnosed at the age of 2. I don't see it as a disorder or a disability because I don't see my autism as something that's negatively affected my life, because I like who I am, I like the way I think, and I don't want to change a single thing about myself.
Honestly, being here is we have to... Oh, go ahead, Amanda. Sorry, I've spoken so much.
I personally see autism as a disability. I have a master's in disability studies. The medical model of disability inherently says that autism or any other disability is within our own fault, and that we are the cause of the disability. But the social model of disability...
Amanda, I'm just going to pause you right there. Amanda, my actions, the things that I do not make me disabled. The things I do are a result of what I do. That's nothing to do with, hang on, I'm taking this back. I almost, honestly, I seriously do not agree with this, and...
The medical model of disability inherently says that autism or any other disability is within our own fault.
Within our own fault, but first of all, autism is genetic, so it's usually obtained from our parents. It's not really the sort of thing that, it's not like the fucking stork comes in, it drops off the baby, in there, and then it turns around and says, oh, by the way, your kid's got no fucking chance, and then flies off, all depressed. That's not how that works. No. Also, yeah, no. Hang on. The way she fucking puts it, it's almost trying to say that I was doomed from the very start because I have autism. Or, Amanda, it's been, okay, It's been an incredibly long time since I've actually had to say this, but fuck that. No, 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 no. 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 So, like, what? Because by Amanda's definition, or what they call about the definition of disability, if a car comes around, hits you, and you're never able to walk again, is that your fault? You tell me.
That we are the cause of the disability, but the social model of disability says that society...
And by the way, just in case you're wondering and saying that, you have to be pretty disabled if you literally walk out into the middle of a road that you absolutely know is busy. To that I say, well, yeah, you're not disabled, you got to be pretty bloody stupid.
Cause of the disability. So autism is a disability because society is not made for me. That disability comes from without, not within. I grew up autistic.
Also, by the way, no, society couldn't give a shit either way. Society doesn't care because society is an inanimate object. It is a construct devised by sociology, politics, and the development of civilization. Society only cares whenever it ever deems anybody as being dangerous, violence, economically dangerous, like people like Kwasi Kwarteng or Liz Truss or Suella Braverman, those people are dangerous. And that's when society should care. But from as far as I'm seeing, I'm sorry for getting all this, about, political satire and all this, but it has to be said, fuck the Tories, fuck you, Suella Braverman. You could you could get a loophole round so you don't actually have to pay, gas prices and all that. We all know that you actually do pay your gas prices, Suella Braverman. It's only because you're sending all the gases all the way down to those little camps you've got in Rwanda. We know perfectly well what's going on. You can't fool me. Fuck you.
Deaf. And I grew up feeling like I was such an outcast and I was the odd one out. Oh, hey, I just used the name of the... That was fun.
No offense, Amanda, but if you go around saying, that people are disabled, it's their own fault, yeah, absolutely, you are going to get picked on. Trust me, Amanda. I would not go around start saying that, people who have like Down syndrome or Bell's palsy, I'm not going to go around saying it was absolutely their fault. You know why? Because you look like a fucking arsehole when you do stuff like that. And before you say, I'm just being honest, I'm just being right, well, good for you. You're being right wing, mate. That's the fucking closest you ever get to being right.
When I was 4 years old, and it's it's always been a difficult process for me, basically growing up, going to school and everything, know that people don't perceive me as this normal guy. So I figure if I'm going to be
I do like actually Darius. He seems like he's sort of like he has a more of an acceptance sort of thing about him. And actually that's kind of also why maybe Amanda probably doesn't, because you really do have to take a very giant leap in logic to come to a conclusion like that.
Autistic person, might as well be the best autistic person that I can be. I always,
Preach!
yeah. I always try my best to excel in school. I always tend to be like one of the smartest kid in school. That's a whole stereotype.
I would consider myself a late bloomer. I was diagnosed at the age of 22. I went most of my life always knowing that there's something different about me, but I couldn't put my finger on it. The reason why I only got diagnosed this year was because I recently moved to a large metropolitan area that has many resources, and so...
Well, Amy, you know what, I'm actually... fair play to her, Amy, because, there are quite a lot of people who don't actually get diagnosed until much later in life. However, Amy, I'll just say this. It's thank goodness you're not living in the UK, because if you move into a metropolitan area in the UK, it's likely they will literally beat you, torture you, do the most horrible, horrible graphic things to you. And yes, that's literally me having a jab at the Metropolitan Police. Fuck them as well. Thank goodness I live about as far away from the Metropolitan Police as you could physically get. Fuck them.
That was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because I have access to therapy, and I was finally able to get an answer that I was always looking for. I really, really struggled to fit in. I really struggled to be able to come up with the right words to get other kids to want to talk to me. And so I stood out pretty badly, and that continued throughout my entire time in grade school.
I think it's also as well, it's the trick of the eyes. Like, they say one of the biggest things is about, like, maintaining eye contact. And I only have the luxury of being able, the fact that, you know, I have to talk through a camera and I don't have to necessarily be in a studio and stuff like this. Because, again, in all honesty, I will say this in case, you know, people think I'm being toxic or anything like that. It's a very, very difficult subject to talk about, not just because my ignorance is on full display about what I know about my Asperger's, not necessarily autism, but the two are, they do say that the two are like one and the same, although people say I have, like, they say I am on the very, very fine end of the spectrum, where it's almost completely indescribable, and some people just think I'm a little bit odd. But you know what? Again, maybe that's probably the reason why I like therapy, and, you know, like, even just talks regularly sort of like stopped after I was about 13. Mostly because of government funding. Fuck you, Michael Gove. Fuck you, David Cameron. Fuck you, Boris Johnson. Fuck you, Theresa. Well, I kind of... No, I don't like Theresa May. No, the fuck her as well. Who else? Truss, Sunak, Anderson, Patel. There's a lot of people I got, to be honest. There's, you know, if you're familiar about my videos before, you know, I usually don't talk a lot about this feeling of hatred or anything like that. But there isn't hatred, really. There's just people I actively despise. We'll go with that one.
I remember first feeling what depression was when I was around 6.
So when I was in university, they make us do these psychological studies, because I was studying psychology, and they have different...
Wow, they study psychology in a psychology class. Bravo, Sophia. Now I'm starting to doubt whether or not maybe it's Sophia who doesn't actually have it. Oh god, this is hard, this now. This is a lot harder than I thought.
Can apply for, and I noticed one of them was they were studying autism.
And I was literally, you know what, I was literally just about to say, but what happens when they have to vote one of them off? Because I was literally just about to say, well, they're all pretty autistic in some way. Oh, I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll today.
Women, specifically like people who are older. So I applied, and that was how I got my diagnosis, which was like, I was 21 then. My wife and like one of my friends are actually the only people that know I've been diagnosed. So surprise, family or friends, anyone who's watching. It was like an eye-opener. It was kind of bittersweet, because it was like, I'm happy now. I have answers to all things that were going on before that I thought might have been something wrong with me.
There is nothing wrong with you, okay? You're amazing.
I agree with that.
I agree.
You don't know her, Sage. Come on now. She could be a giant bellend for all you know, but again, let's try. I'm gonna refrain from, you know, all of this. I'll behave myself.
Should I go ahead? Yeah.
Yeah, I was diagnosed when I was a child, but I didn't know I was autistic, because, I mean, as a 2, 3, 4-year-old, I mean, I don't know how one even knows what it's supposed to be up with them. So it's definitely hard to speak in a group situation, because I can never tell the rules of like how to, like when to talk and when to speak up. It's kind of like just jumping in like right when you're kind of feeling like it. Plus, I've also blocked a lot of my childhood memories from trauma. And, so I lived a whole life.
Yeah, again, was it necessary for them to do that freeze frame that when they talk about trauma? Yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't know.
Wondering why I couldn't connect to people.
Understand
each other.
Yeah. Can I ask you guys questions about like what are stimulants? Like, do you guys like chew gum, or do you guys like have anything that you guys do specifically to like keep you guys calm or keep you guys
have a wank?
Go ahead, Amanda.
The color pink.
The color pink?
Nice.
Okay.
You're
It's my
right, pink
favorite
right there.
color in the whole world. My whole room is pink. At home, my bed is pink, my bedspread is pink, and my pillows are pink, and my rug is pink, and my carpet is pink. And I even have a framed pink picture of mine, and most of my clothes are pink. I love pink.
Guys,
It's the
I
best
think she
color.
might like pink. What about the Oh no! Guys, I thought of the fucking worst thing to possibly say at this moment. I wonder if she's literally gonna say her favorite singer is also Pink, and her favorite song from Pink was Please Don't Leave Me. You know, the music video where Pink basically turns into Annie Wilkes from the Stephen King book Misery. You know, the psycho who breaks the author's legs and basically tortures him to death. I don't think that's what she's going to say, but it wouldn't surprise me if she practices "I am your biggest fan" in the middle of the night.
Color in the whole world.
Okay. I've never heard
I love blue too.
I like blue too, but pink is better.
Oh, okay.
Oh, your
it's
ass is
subjective.
How
definitely
do you guys
gone,
feel about the
Amanda.
term high functioning?
I don't like that
I
term
didn't
at
really
all.
think about it too much.
I don't think I think about it either.
Autism is too much of a spectrum. So many people with autism have so many different experiences.
I can't choose any of you guys to be the mole.
This is gonna be the hardest
Even me
thing.
myself, like it's like I think I'm the mole. Honestly, like
Like how they were like, try to find the mole. And we're like, maybe there's none.
Even the person who's neurotypical might just be an undiagnosed autistic.
Yeah.
You never know that. You never know about that.
You know, by that logic, they may as well just say that every single human being has autism because every single human being is like their own fault. I don't understand why Amanda would say something like that.
Damn, all this relates. Wait a second. Huh.
The mole might not be neurotypical. Just because someone doesn't have autism doesn't mean the mole could have like ADHD or OCD.
Actually,
And-
Well,
it's-
like I said again about you, Sage, at least, well, the one thing you definitely don't have is a mirror. Fucking go get a haircut or get a different set of clothes, you fucking hippie.
and could be overlapping the symptoms that could be associated with autism as well.
My kid has a genetic condition that is not autism, but does manifest behaviorally.
Well, thank you so much, Amanda, for sharing the news that A, you have a child, but also you felt the need to tell them they have a disorder. Amanda, first of all, thank you for telling us, but did anybody prompt you? Did anybody ask your permission to say that? Did your son ask did your child ask permission to say that? No. No, I don't think so.
And neurologically, in many ways that are similar to autism. So when people interact with my kid, they often see an autistic child, but my kid isn't autistic.
Does autism run in any of your guys' family?
I realized I was autistic because my half brother, he's like.
Well,
he's
I'll just
5
say
years
this for now. I'm the only one in my family who has autism, and it's usually when the parents actually get older, it says that the likelihood to get autism is a lot more. This is despite the fact I'm actually the eldest out of my brother and sister. Something about that doesn't really make sense, does it? But, oh well. God might just hate me. That's probably why.
old. Well, I guess he's 7 now. Whoops, I don't know his age. But like, I see him, I'm like, wasn't I like that when I was a kid? My mom was like, yeah, because we thought you're autistic too. I was like, what?
And I just found out that my youngest nephew was just recently diagnosed with autism as well. So, but
Oh,
luckily,
and yeah, by the way, when I say the only person in my family, yes, none of my cousins, absolutely none of them, and I can name all of them, youngest and oldest, none of them have autism. I'm literally the only one. Because, like I said, God must just hate me. Thank you so much, God. Thank you, I guess.
who already experienced everything that he's going to experience, and I can I could be a mentor towards him.
Yeah, my dad is an undiagnosed autistic. Sorry, Dad.
Okay, what the fuck was that? Yeah, how do you know that? I don't get. How do you know? How can you know if your dad's undiagnosed or not? What the fuck is wrong with this woman?
Go ahead.
Do you ever like wake up and feel like you're not autistic and like or like you have a
No,
disability.
Kaz, that literally doesn't make any sense. Well, maybe it doesn't. Well, look, I've never really had that because guess what? To be honest, when you get to my age, which is 25, and you actually experience things in the real world, from work to socialization to hobbies, just doing this, you begin to realize that, to be honest, if my neurological disorder was anything to go by, then I'd say I'd probably got a lot more things going on with me than just autism. I do not think, it begins and ends with that.
You're like, this is just me. Like,
Yes.
It's called masking.
I think I could be seen as neurotypical passing sometimes because I try to hide as much symptoms as possible because I was trained to do so at a very early age.
People that don't have experience with others who have autism, they expect it to stand out, and that's not always the case. I mean, we all look like humans.
I think you can blame that partly on the media, how they portray us.
We don't really have a good representation of us.
No, we don't.
What that movie with Dustin Hoffman now, Rain Man, where you being on the spectrum automatically mean you're good at gambling. I wish I was good at gambling or something.
None of them have the same experiences that I do. So there's no way to have pinpointed, oh, this person is more quiet, this person is more socially awkward. There's no way to have tell who was autistic or not.
On the count of 3, will the mole please raise their hand?
Okay, so my money is still on Amanda, but we'll wait and see. I feel like I'm going to be proved wrong.
1, 2, 3.
Fucking goddamn it!
I've seen that coming. I totally didn't see that coming.
I was shook.
I didn't actually. I must admit I did think about it.
It can't be heard.
I never would have guessed.
I actually didn't lie about anything. I just flipped out autism with FASD, and it stands for fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. I was exposed to alcohol when I was inside my mom in the womb for the first 5 months, and you can kind of think of FASD.
Again, this is something also I'm like very, very touchy about when it comes to Jubilee doing this, is it absolutely necessary to have the person say what their disorder is? Like, really? Is that really necessary? I don't really know why.
Spectrum, just like ASD.
Even though she might not have been autistic, there are a lot of overlaps between autism and many other neurological disabilities.
FASD is never talked about. I've never met a single person who shares that diagnosis with me.
What difference?
Well, unless of course your mother was Amy Winehouse, Amy, I would hardly see why that would be the case. Although, again, that might be said, is that because there are so many disorders out there, you really don't honestly know where you're meant to go or where to begin with stuff like that. So, fair play.
Between people with autism versus...
I actually see a ton of similarities. And I wouldn't want to, discredit anybody else's experience, but autism does run in my family very heavily. My dad has autism, I have a sister that has autism, and I have quite a few cousins who have autism. And I also have quite a few friends who have autism.
Damn, we're not your first.
Denied.
The autism community accepts you.
I love you guys.
Getting a diagnosis can be a whirlwind of emotions. As long as you stay true to yourself, I promise you everything's gonna end up okay.
We are more than the label
And
that
they never spoke to Amy again.
defines us. At each label we have is a whole spectrum.
A diagnosis does not define somebody. Everybody is completely unique, whether you're neurotypical or neurodivergent.
You're in the shot, Matt. Okay, so that was pretty cool, and yeah, I must be honest and say right now is that aside for some very strange takes, I actually did enjoy that. I did. I think, again, they're comfortable absolutely with who they are. I'm comfortable with who I am, and just the fact that my sense of humor is just my sense of humor, and that's because just I'm comfortable with just letting these things know. And I don't mean any harm to these people whatsoever, because that's just fucking weird to say stuff like that. And all credit to them for volunteering to do this. There wasn't even a cash prize. Yeah, that's the more I think about it. There was no cash prize on this whatsoever. They literally just said, hey, you've got autism. in you go. You know what I mean? Oh man, they didn't even think about that. If they did that on me, I would fucking sue. You promised me fun money. You know what I mean? Honestly. Oh dear. Anyway, cheers for all that, and good luck being autistic. I guess I had no better way to end this.